Do you think you have the right to be rude? You don't. We're all humans. Shut up and scroll on. It's that simple. You will be deleted. You will be blocked. But for those of you who love me, those of you who follow me, I 100% appreciate you. Those of you that want to learn, thank you for being here. The ignorant people aren't here. They're not listening. For those of you that are listening every week and wonder, why is Mary Jo so angry sometimes? This is the kind of stuff that we put up with. I think that we, content creators, if you have influencers out there, the more that we bring attention to this, the more that the general public will understand, hey, this is what they go through. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. All right, we are going to talk about internet trolls today and behavior. And so, not something that I typically like to talk about, but people are angry. They have so much to say, and it's not productive. And so I have seen this, and I'm not copying what other people are doing, but I've been talking about this for probably the last 6 months with just people in my inner circle, other people that are on the internet a lot. I've been seeing it a lot. People are so angry. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why. My husband was watching some show the other night, and it's a guy here in North Dakota that does a fishing show. And he was talking about the trolls online and how all these people have things to complain about, and just trying to put it into perspective. I came across somebody else that was also talking about it in the same context I was. I don't even know the individual, but they were saying, hey, why is everybody so mad? I've been on the internet for years and years and never had this kind of hate or never had this many negative comments. There's a guy that I follow on TikTok. Can't even remember his name. He's down in Georgia, small farmer. The amount of hate that he gets for being a small rancher, just getting into the industry, trying to help people is crazy. And I know I just talked about this on a recent podcast, but I have compiled some screenshots for y'all so that you can understand where a creator is coming from. Okay, we're out here teaching whatever it is we're teaching. There might be guys saying, hey, you go buy an IUL, you buy universal life, the 401k is the best, pay off all your debt, it's Dave Ramsey. I'm not on those pages screaming and yelling at those people, because we have to understand that that is not the place for that. And so many people are hiding behind a no face, right? They don't have an image on their social media page. They're completely locked up in private, but they are out there with a whole lot to say. And it's absolutely crazy to me that these people think that they have the right to do that. So the thing that really got me thinking about this, because they don't irritate, I'm to the point where I kind of laugh at them because their comments are so ignorant. And I'm going to read some to you so you guys get the full taste. Their comments are so ignorant. They're so ignorant. They have this illusion that they sound smart, and they absolutely don't. I was listening to a podcast this morning. I love Myron Golden. And he was talking about, if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right. So all I have to say is I'm doing a whole lot of shit right at the moment because I got a whole lot of haters. But this Seth dude posted on my Facebook page and said, gotta stop deleting these comments so soon. Be nice if people could have a little conversation or question your ideas. And I commented back to him. Funny thing is Seth has not responded to me. Yet he feels the need to comment, but he won't respond. And I just said, Seth, I have not deleted any comments on this particular post. Do I delete comments? 100% I do. If somebody is calling me a derogatory name, if somebody is F-bombing and being blatantly rude? Yes, I do. And here's the thing. Some people get pissed off about that. No, that's my page. I own that page. I don't own Facebook. I don't own TikTok, but that's my page. And if I don't like your comment or you're being rude and you don't want to have a conversation, then am I going to delete it? Yes. Because guess what? I would not allow you in my house if you treated me like that. If you talked to me like that, I would not associate with you. I would not be friends with you. I am going to control my page so that it is useful conversation. If you want to have useful conversation, perhaps, just perhaps, you should make a comment that sounds useful and not ignorant and not belligerent, because that is what is happening. People are being so rude and they're just commenting stuff instead of actually trying to understand. So am I going to delete people? Yeah. Am I going to block you? Yes. And why am I going to block you? Because guess what? I run ads. And in those ads, I have to pay for clicks or I have to pay for views. I am not paying for your sorry behind to be seeing my ad. No, thank you. If you don't know how to stop commenting or if you don't have manners, I'm not here to teach you to have manners. I am going to block your behind and you can go someplace else. If you don't like me, you can go up and you can block me as well. You can unfollow me. You can just tell social media you don't like the content. And guess what? They'll stop showing it to you. But because you are not smart enough to do that, I will do it for you. And then you're going to be offended. And isn't that interesting? You come on my page to offend me and say something rude, but if I block or delete your comment, you're offended? Really? So here are some of the comments. Mr. Bobby said, keep pimping that insurance as an investment. Hilarious. Buddy, Mr. Bobby, it's not an investment. If you were here more than 5 seconds to make an ignorant comment about something you did not actually research, and you've not listened to me, because obviously you've not listened to me, because you would have heard me say that it's not an investment like a million times, then you would have not had to leave that comment. But because you are ignorant, you made the list. Good job, Bobby. Dawn says, bogus. That's it. Just bogus. I wish he could elaborate on what he knows, but apparently he has illusion of knowledge, maybe. Johnny, who has no profile picture and his profile is locked, says they were told up front they didn't listen. So he is talking about a client of mine that I shared a text message from him that he is being taxed on his 401k. Well, he's retired, okay? He's getting Medicare. So if he takes money out of his 401k, which is most likely now an IRA because he's no longer working, then his Medicare goes up. So Johnny, who is extremely smart, you guys, but hiding behind the wall, Johnny says he was told. He just didn't listen. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure that everybody knows that because, most people don't know that. This person says, been paying into a Roth 401k since it was first offered. I can take out of it tax-free. Seems like this person didn't plan well, now is experiencing the consequences of not understanding basic investment accounts and government benefit programs. Well, Eric, first of all, not everybody can contribute to a Roth. Him and I went back and forth and actually had a conversation. This gentleman is very old. So was Roth even offered in his business to begin with? In fact, this client is really extremely smart with his finances, done very, very well, has saved a lot of money, and is quite wealthy at this point in his life. So to say he doesn't understand basic investments, we're commenting on what I posted as a, hey, FYI. That's all I posted it as. I wasn't trying to sell anything. I was just trying to say, hey, FYI, if you guys save a lot of money and then at retirement, you take that money out and you take too much at a time, your Medicare is going to go up. You're going to be penalized. He has been researching how to do that better. But everybody on the interwebs knows how to do it. And this guy's a complete moron. Yeah, a complete moron. Interesting, because everybody commenting isn't retired. Somebody else said on a different post, she must work for the IRS. You guys make your own judgment on that one. Ridiculous. Back to the 401k post. I posted that on TikTok. I did not put a hashtag on it. Nothing. Holy cow. Last I checked, there were like 296 comments or something. A lot of people talking about how this client did not know what they were doing. They knew that. They were told that by their investment person. Yes, they were told to stick away 12 to 15% of their money, and that's what he did. And now he has a large amount of money in savings, and in order to get that out, he has to take more income. And he has other income coming in along the way. So kudos to him for doing a good job, but now he's being penalized at retirement. And what people don't understand is I talk to thousands of people. Yes, thousands of people. And he is just one of the many that I talk to that are at retirement age, good savers, and now they're being penalized. All we're doing is sharing the information so that somebody else has the information. A lot of other people were commenting in the comments that said, yeah, this is exactly what's happened to me. I am now in a higher tax bracket. But the people out there commenting and saying how ignorant he is, how he knew, how this is basic information, like, really? That is a useful comment? You can keep scrolling. You could keep scrolling. I mean, you're driving my algorithm, so I appreciate that. But you could just keep scrolling. You don't have to make a nasty comment. And nobody's asking questions about, could have he put money in a Roth? Could he pull it a different way? Could he take a loan? A lot of people are saying, take a loan against your 401k. Well, if he's already retired and it's in an IRA status, that may not be the option. I'm sure he has thought of those things. But everybody assumes that he's not and that he's ignorant. Who's ignorant? Then we had a video running about my podcast, just a clip from the podcast talking about all the ranchers that I come across that have this excess money right now and they need to put it in a policy. And it's working really well because we can put extra money in year one. So year one, we can pay additional premium. That is not in my book. That is not something that I illustrated in the book because at that time, I was not able to do that. So not everything is in my book. So these wonderful, amazing people, Jason said, what excess money you're talking about? The variable rate loans on 3-year ARMs readjusted from 5.5 to 8.5. So it's costing me a third more for borrowed money. My insurance on my house, truck, and equipment have doubled since 2019. Feed costs, despite the low price of grain, is still $100 a ton higher than 2021. Fertilizer is up, but not as bad as 2021. Cost of equipment has doubled. Trucks, tractors, minerals, feed, blah, 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 blah. It's taking that extra money you're talking about just to stay even. Well, Jason, too, hides behind no profile picture, locked account. Very brave individual, Jason. What excess money I'm talking about is the excess money that the majority of the people I talk to have. Yes, expenses have gone up, but so have cattle. So what if cattle prices would have stayed where they are? And all this stuff would have gone up. We can't be appreciative of that. I talked to a guy yesterday that has $400,000 more. He made $400,000 more this year than he made last year on his cattle. So, yeah, The question should be, Mr. Jason, why don't I have excess money? How do these guys have excess money, but I don't have excess money? Justin says, pretty hard to do unless you're only farming dirt. Raising any livestock, you can kiss days off goodbye for the most part. So again, I had a post that said, do you guys work on Sunday? All I was trying to do is go, wow, I didn't know people still took Sundays off. I truly did not know that. Nobody I know takes a Sunday off. And so I was like, well, does anybody take Sundays off? And for the most part, like 99% of those comments were 99.9% were very, very positive. But you always got that one guy, Justin, pretty hard to do. Well, Justin, I'm guessing that you probably have a pretty negative mindset. And I actually said in the post, unless you have to work, we all know cows need to eat. Derek said, I call bull. I suppose landlord. Oh, this was me talking about a client I have that farms 6,000 acres and he started from scratch. I call bull, I suppose landlords started farming from scratch too. Having connections and money don't count as starting from scratch. Who said the client has connections? Who said the client had money? I mean, obviously he had money, but did he get given the money? That post is crazy how many angry individuals there are on that one. Yeah, he has businesses. He used the money from those businesses to start farming. Did he start with 6,000 acres overnight? No. But Derek, your negative mindset is probably why you're stuck in the situation you are. Arthur, when you can't buy a $2,500 car, how are you going to buy a $100,000 tractor? Well, Arthur, the question for you is how can you? How can you buy that? Do you need a $100,000 tractor? What are you farming? How are you farming? How are you managing your money? What are you doing to make money maybe off the farm? Becky said she is off her rocker. Thanks, Becky. That is a very valuable comment. I'm glad that you took your time behind a no profile picture to let me know that I'm off my rocker. Yet I'm not the one that made a rude comment. John is mad because I charge my kids interest. He said, I had neighbors that treated me better than she is planning on being to her kids. What the hell? She needs every cent? Well, I don't need every cent, John. But if you would be here to understand the concept, you would understand that if I'm charging my children interest, which apparently just breaks the internet as well, I'm going to take that interest money, I'm going to buy more life insurance with it, which will leave them more money. And if they need money for their business again or whatever they need as a loan, and I have more money now to lend them, they're going to pay me or they're going to pay the bank. My money is also valuable and I can be doing things with that money. Thanks for the comment, John. Very useful. Tom said somebody forgot to tell her the difference between packers and cow-calf producers and the cost of everything else that has gone up. I don't know where all this excess money is supposed to be coming from, but you better get stuff paid off if you can and stop interest. So again, he was talking about the post with excess money. And apparently Tom doesn't have any excess money either. I don't know. Maybe I need to start asking my clients, what are you guys doing? Selling drugs? How do you have all this excess money? Ivan says, because he's a member of a cult. So my client that started farming 6,000 acres from scratch is a member of a cult. Well, Ivan, what a great observation and input. Donald says, don't own the land? You're not a real farmer. You're someone's hired hand. You work for them. Well, Donald, I hope you own all the land that you farm and you're not just a hired hand. Let's give kudos to Donald because he used correct correct oh my God. Even I can't do it correctly. Not pronunciation. Oh my gosh. He used commas correctly. Correct grammar. He wrote that. He's great at English and grammar. William said, you obviously are very uneducated to all of it. It's a shame that you're even on here saying what you're saying. You have no idea how difficult it is to be a farmer. Right, William. You are correct. I am completely clueless. And William also does not have a profile picture. He is hiding behind his computer as well, but he has a lot of good insight. So y'all that are listening to this podcast, I'm extremely uneducated. I know nothing about farming. I don't know how hard it is. Never done it in my life. No idea. Jim said, this is so far from the truth. Come to Georgia and farm with that strategy. Never will work. Rent is high, equipment is out of sight, operating costs are high, crop prices are low, doesn't work for a beginning farmer. He also was talking about starting from scratch. Well, Jim, let me share a secret. Equipment prices are high all around the country. Land prices are high all around the country. Crop prices have dropped all around the country. It's not easy anywhere. But you are not going to get anywhere with that mindset. This guy, Don, maybe this is the same Don. I'll have to look back. Don says, farming without the bank in your dreams. Okay, Don, I got a lot of dreamers over here as clients. This guy, Mike has a lot of good input. Bad advice from a female. Concerned with screwing the IRS and wants you to rip off your own children. Oh, Mikey Mike. Silly goose. I don't know, my lady bits have to do with any of this. So maybe we have starting problems right there. And am I screwing the IRS? When I have to claim interest income as passive income. No, interest income is ordinary income. I'm trying to screw the IRS? Really? Or am I just trying to be the banker? I don't think Mike did his research. Charles said, that's stupid. You do not finance your children. Charles probably should have reread what he posted. So I don't finance my children. If I'm going to give them a loan, I just give them money. So then if I just give them money, then I piss off the side of the internet that says, you don't just give your kids money, you make them work for it. Gosh, who do I make mad? Charles? Bruce is pissed off because I must have said something about somebody having a side-by-side payment or somebody financing a side-by-side or buying a side-by-side or using the policy for a side-by-side. Apparently that pisses Bruce off. You have a payment on a side-by-side? What the hell? So all of you people out there that borrowed money for a side-by-side, what the hell? Why do you have a side-by-side payment? Can't you walk? Trevor is also mad. What excess money? Trevor doesn't have excess money from cattle either. Craig is also mad. Excess money? What a effery is this? Well, I don't know, Craig. Maybe you should be asking why you don't have excess money. Thomas says, excess money. Are you I'm not mentally handicapped, Thomas, but I'm not saying that you aren't. Randy, not too bright, are you? Well, Randy, I don't know how bright your light shines, but might be a little dimmer than mine. Marilyn is mad. You have to buy this book? So the only one getting richer is the publisher? Let me physically read it for free in physical form, then we talk. I'm not so sure, Noina is also mad. selling you a book that offers you freedom from the banking system. If the person selling this book was free, why are they selling you this book? I don't know really at what point people think that I'm making money off the book. Because, I have to pay for advertising. I have to pay the book to get printed. I have to have people mail the book. That piece is very interesting to me. Do you go into Barnes and Noble and say, hey, I want that for free? If there's so much good information in there, then why don't you just give it to me for free? For Marilyn and Noina, you are welcome to go to your public library, tell your public library to purchase the book, and then you can read it for free. But I hope you understand that your taxes went to the public library and you actually bought that book anyway. I mean, maybe you don't know that's how that works, but that's how that works. I had a lady years ago super mad at me. Super, super mad. And she was like, well, this book should be free. And just so you know, it's at my public library. And I am reading it for free and telling everybody to go to the library and read it for free. And I said, that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing the book with everybody and doing my marketing. She blocked. Then we have Tina and Henry. Probably a good book for people with money to start with. What about the blue-collar people who are having to work full-time job but have the dream of starting a business? By the time we can save the $100,000 to $500,000 to start a company, we are too old to actually start. Well, Tina and Henry, this is exactly who this concept is for blue-collar people, for the average person to get started. Perhaps instead of leaving a negative comment, you could have clicked on the link and you could have purchased the book and educated yourself on how to. In fact, there are lots of podcasts out there for blue-collar people and Main Street people to just make money. Cody Sanchez is a really good example. Main Street Millionaire, but you would also have to read that book and you would probably have to listen to some of her podcasts. There is a ton of information out there. I don't know what you're looking for. You guys know that little story that somebody is sitting on a roof and God sends by somebody with a boat, and then he sends by somebody with a helicopter, and then he sends by somebody else. And the guy's like, God, I've been waiting for you to save me. And God said, yeah, I just sent 3 people by and you denied them all. This is there for you. We're running ads so that you guys can see this. And the opportunity to learn is there, but instead we have the negativity. And so the moral of all of this is when you have people like myself on the internet that are sharing their business and they're sharing ideas and they're trying to help people, if you don't like the idea, you can scroll by. If you question why you are being deleted and blocked, this is why. This is a extremely small snippet of comments. Like, I didn't even put the bad ones in here because those are deleted and blocked. This is an extremely small snippet of what people that put themselves out there on a daily basis put up with. This is why people get snippy or angry and don't put up with these comments, because there's thousands of them. And guess what? We get to control our environment, and we don't frankly want you in it, because you can't be a decent human being because you're sitting behind a computer or you're sitting behind your phone and your little fingers are going and you think that you have the right to make a comment. And please do not come at me with this, well, you put yourself out there, you need to expect it. Bullshit. I put myself out there to educate people. I am not here to tolerate belligerence and ignorance. That does not stand anywhere, because if I was in a room speaking, people don't agree with me, they don't say anything. So why, because we put ourselves out there, do you think you have the right to be rude? You don't. We're all humans. Shut up and scroll on. It's that simple. You will be deleted. You will be blocked. But for those of you who love me, those of you who follow me, I 100% appreciate you. Those of you that want to learn, thank you for being here. This is an awareness because the ignorant people aren't here. They're not listening. But for those of you that are listening every week and wonder, like, why is Mary Jo so angry sometimes? This is the kind of stuff that we put up with. I think that we, as content creators, if you have influencers out there, the more that we bring attention to this, the more that the general public will understand, hey, this is what they go through. This is why some people on the internet are committing suicide, because of the internet bullying. And it's never going to stop. But I can control the environment in which it's being posted. All right, guys. Marilyn and Noina think that the book should be free, but it's not. So go to farmingwithoutthebank.com, grab your book, let us know how we can help you. We are here to answer questions, see how this can work for you. But otherwise, be a good human being and have a good rest of your day.